beautiful day for some soccer in Victoria. A soccer final, a cup final. Hello everyone, my name is Roturo here at Royal Athletic Park with Vince Greco, the president of the Vancouver Island Soccer League, for the 2018 Jackson Cup final between Lake Hill and Gorge, an all-Saanich final. Vince, let's talk about how the teams got here, starting with Lake Hill.
Lake Hill, they had a good battle. They went through some Div 2 teams, some good Div 2 teams, including their own Lake Hill. They then topped off Vic West in the semifinal. A definite shock to say the least. And they're here now against Gorge.
Now, let's talk a bit about Gorge. This is a team that they came in the lower seed for the regular season. They should still put up a stiff fight for Lake Hill today.
Absolutely. You know, Gorge beat Cowichan, who was our #1 seed. So that goes to show you that any given day, anything can happen. So it'll be a good battle. Both teams are young and quick, so it should be a good one out there.
It's going to be an excellent Jackson Cup final, so let's take a look at today's starting lineup. Starting for Gorge in the Jackson Cup final, in goal, Ian Walker. On defense, Lord Maxudi, Mark Cottrell, Dylan Pagnotta, and Max Legg. In front of them in the midfield, Aaron Murphy, Dominic Colantonio, and Dylan Abbott. And up front, Jordan French, John Shaw, and Robert Litke. On the other side of the pitch, starting for Lake Hill, at the back, Gabe Luger gets to start in net. In front of him, Lee Bauer, Daniel Roque, Jivan Minhas, and Dorian Kolopaisis. In the midfield, Dan Citra, Taramir Bandal, and Josh Brown. And up front, Gareth Langdon, Parker Atkins, and Ryan Andre. Lake Hill in their red and white stripe kit today. There you see Gorge in their black and white. Vince, looking at these two sides, do you give an early advantage to anybody right off the hop here?
You know, out of the gate, I'd give the slight advantage to Lake Hill just because they finished higher in the standings, but really, a couple even teams here. Should be a good match.
Anything can happen in a cup final?
We've seen a lot of weird cup finals, and we've seen a lot of weird semifinals, upsets, of course. This one, I think it's going to be a good battle, and really anything can and will happen.
And for those of you who are joining us for your first Jackson Cup final, first of all, welcome. Vince, for those who are unfamiliar, if we go the full 90, what happens afterwards?
We have a very small break. Then we have 2 15s. And then if it's still tied, we'll go straight to PKs after that.
The magic and the heartbreak of the penalty shootout.
It can be, but you know what? If they can't sort it out as a team on the field, then you know what? I'm okay with PKs. And I know a lot of people, a lot of realists will disagree with me, but it's nice to see the PKs and the individual talents shine through.
Plenty of local soccer fans taking in tonight's, or this afternoon's match, I should say, at Royal Athletic Park in Victoria. Excellent to see support for the Jackson Cup, the Vancouver Island Soccer League here in the province's capital on Vancouver Island, as the teams get ready here for the opening kickoff. Be interesting to watch in the midfield for Lake Hill, number 5, Tarnveer Bandal. Former Victoria Highlander, having played at the PDL level, brings that experience with him to the Vancouver Island Soccer League. Be interesting to see what he can do from his position in the heart of the midfield for Lake Hill.
Today's officials in the middle of the park, a seasoned veteran for the league, Nathan Bird. On the wings, you have a young and up-and-coming official, Cole Shoemaker, and on the other side, you have another young official looking to make his mark, and that's Joshua Soberg.
This opening coin flip here will determine whoever kicks off first and which side of the pitch they will be on. No real blinding sun here, and a little bit of cloud cover, so shouldn't be too much of a put the sun in your opposition's eyes here off the opening flip.
There's been many a final here with a lot of rain, so you know what? Knock on wood, so far things have been great. It's been a good weekend of weather here in YYJ, and we're just happy that the fans are here and able to take it in.
Handshakes there between the captains. And one last huddle, and we are getting ready to go. The linesmen will run back and check the nets, make sure everything is all hunky-dory here before we get started. What should promise to be an entertaining Jackson Cup final will get underway. Vince, as you mentioned off the top, the upset over Cowichan FC, arguably one of the bigger results of the rounds leading up to it. The Cowichan Masters, the 49ers, ended up winning earlier this afternoon.
They did, yeah. They beat Gorge FC Backfit in the Masters 20 Grover Cup. So, and then Cowichan also won the U21 Cup here yesterday, the George Smith Cup. So it's been a pretty good weekend for Couch in that regards, yeah.
Lakehill will be with the opening kickoff here. Standing in the center, Ryan Andre. Behind him, Gareth Langdon just pacing inside the circle. And one quick check of the watches here. And the man in the middle checks his whistle and his watch. And stand by, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready to start off the 2018 Jackson Cup final. Lakehill taking possession early. Looking down the wing for the run of Brown, headed away. And will go out of play. Early throw in here for Lakehill. The throw is Bauer. And left back, looks for the long throw here. Can't find the head of Andre. And they'll let this run out for a goal kick.
That'll happen a lot today. They'll look to Andre as their post man, their target man. He's scored a bucket full of goals this year. He'll need to be on his game for Lakehill to come out as the victor today.
You already see a little of a battle going on between him and the men at the back. Be excellent to see what we can kind of duel we can find there, as Lorik Maksudi will no doubt have his hands full. Goal kick here by Walker, falls a touch short. It's flicked out by Bandal. Intercepted though by Gorge, and there's a ball over the top looking for the run of Shaw. Comes down the right side, he looked across the center, but that's a great sliding tackle by Kolopaisis. That'll go out for the game's first corner.
And you're going to see a lot of that today. John Shaw is quick, and he will get behind those defenders. It's going to be interesting to see on how they can handle him.
Shaw, number 7 in black and white. Pacey right-sider. Corner's taken short by Gorge. They move quickly. And that is offside. A little too tricky there, as Murphy had strayed into an offside position. Short corner did catch most of the players off guard there, but unfortunately not able to make anything out of the little trick play. And Luger will get things restarted for Lakehill.
And you know what? He's been a great surprise this year, Gabe, in net for Lakehill. Really positive. He's had a great year and done very well for the red and white.
A little flick on, nearly trouble, but coolly dealt with by Cottrell. And back the other way comes Gorge. Pagnotta forced back. And this is Abbott now coming back to help his defense. Walker sprays it out to the right. Maksudi is waiting, but he can't control it, and that'll be out for a deep throw for Lakehill. Chance to capitalize here. They'll set this up. One throw here is Bauer. Going to get a long throw into the box here. He launches one. Does just miss the head of his intended target there. Looked like Andre was sneaking in. Instead, Gorge will attempt to clear this. Ends up going off Bauer. Out for a goal kick. The long throw, an underappreciated weapon. But if you can get it to work, it's just as good as a corner in some cases. In that case, well defended by Gorge, and Lakehill are left with nothing. Abbott forced to go back again. Maksudi closed down quickly there by Brown. Forced to get rid of it, but Gorge move out ahead. Ball comes out to the right for Leg. Leaves it for Maksudi. Cuts back inside. Abbott looks up the middle. That's intercepted cleanly by Bandal. And it's out for a throw.
Surprised we're seeing as much high pressure as we are from Lakehill right now, but definitely part of their plan, I think, at this point.
And my apologies, that was Minhas actually who'd stepped up from the back line, aggressively from the back line to make that interception. And here's another one. It's Langdon. Nicks the ball, makes a run up the middle, sprays it out to a wide open right side, cutting back to the middle. That is well defended. That could have been dangerous. Up the right now. Lakehill's right, Gorge's left. Gorge from our broadcast left attacking our broadcast right. Lakehill attacking in the other direction. And it is Lakehill now. Setting back up. This is Bauer. Has a look, goes long, but well in an offside position there is Andre.
Bauer is one of the few Lakehill players that has some Jackson Cup experience, winning a Jackson Cup with Bays United in 2013, I believe.
Always want that kind of experience in your squad. If you know how to win, especially in one of these one-off games, that can be the difference. Bringing home another piece of silverware. Free kick quickly taken here as we take a look at that last little play. Just a little bit too aggressive there on the take.
And that's Dan Citra. He'll be aggressive all game.
I'm sure Lake Hill won't mind as long as he doesn't get into card trouble. And this is Bauer now for Lake Hill. Closed down quickly, just managed to get it ahead. Trying to make the turn there with Citra. Pops straight up. Bauer nods it forward. Over Citra. And Gorge will recover. Cottrell walks it out of the back himself. Still going Cottrell. Plays it off. Shaw checked back. He ends up winning the free kick out of it.
You're going to see that out of Citra all game. Hard tackles, working hard, and he'll get the boys motivated, that's for sure.
We're already seeing hints of that so far. It's a very, very dicey going directly through the midfield. Two very, very solid tackling teams here. The wings look like we're going to be seeing the most of the offensive action early on.
And it's funny you say that, too, because the middle of the park is so important for both these teams. Colantonio and French in the middle, and it's just going to be amazing to see how this all pans out.
5 minutes in, no score. And this is Gorge now. A little bit too aggressive there was Colantonio. He disagrees. We'll take another look at it. Looked like a fairly clean take. They really got most of the ball, but the fall-through did nick the shins. And for the referee to give the free kick. And this is Gorge looking out wide for Langdon. A little bit behind him, but he recovers. Has a little bit of help in the center, but from more or less on his own. Leaves it off for the center, and trying on the overlap there was Leg. Never comes to him. Now cutting out to the right side again. This time, does come to Leg. Crosses it in. We have an errant cross there, and that'll be headed straight back to Luger. It's twice now we've seen Gorge use that right-hand cross. Still having trouble finding their targets, though it is early. Plenty of time to sort that out. Luger looks long, does find his man. And this is left inside for Andre. But that is easily picked up by Gorge. And Abbott sends it back to Walker. Walker playing with fire there, does get it out wide to Maksudi. Colantonio. A little bit of space for Murphy to work with. The opts to go out to the left side to Cottrell. Goes up the left. A little bit behind his man, but now they have numbers 4, but that is done well in the midfield by Daniel Roque, who'd actually stepped up. Very good job there. The Gorge attack is blunted, but it is out for a throw. Murphy goes inside for Abbott. Out wide for Maksudi. Does well to beat the on-rushing defense, but unable to control it there was Shaw. And this goes right back the other way, and this is Lake Hill on the counter. On the left side, Dan Citra cuts inside on his right foot, puts it right into the middle. Advantage given to by the referee. Unfortunately given straight away by Lake Hill. There was some protest there from Citra that maybe advantage should have been called back as there was no clear advantage, but in the referee's eyes, Lake Hill had played it. And played it directly to Gorge.
I'd have to agree with the referee on that one. He let the advantage go, and Ryan did have a play on the ball.
We'll see it here. There's the advantage just given, and then as soon as that is taken, it is given straight over to Gorge. So you can't really argue that the advantage wasn't there, it just was poorly used by Lake Hill. And Maksudi. Quite a few touches so far in this first half as Gorge tries to play out of the back, but that ball over the top falls straight into the arms of Luger. He'll immediately thump it back downfield. Looking to find Andre, but waiting for it was Cottrell. Stumbling a bit there was Murphy, but he does get it out to the left. Under pressure there was French. Moved back into midfield to help. Gorge retains possession. Good block there on the right-hand side, and that'll go out for a Gorge throw. Nine minutes gone, no score. Gorge FC, Lake Hill FC, the all-Saanich final of the 2018 Jackson Cup on Shaw TV. My name is Roturo, joined by Vince Greco. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's a fine display of local soccer unfolds in front of you. Nice turn there, not once but twice by Aaron Murphy to shake off the pressure from Lake Hill. Gorge tries to move out. They go long, trying to spring Shaw, just out of his reach. Murphy really did well to twist his way out of trouble there, Vince. Looked like he was for sure going to be closed down, but found a seam to get out.
He's crafty on the ball. That'll be a huge key for them today.
Lincoln now trying to move in with the long ball, but Maksudi checks back in. And this is Abbott now, who moves up the middle. Murphy gets it ahead. Doubling back is French. Cottrell. Cottrell looks upfield, opts to go into the middle, where Abbott is waiting. Abbott goes long, sprays it out to the right. It's a lovely ball over the top. Onside is Legg, who's sprinting way up from the back, and it'll be played out for a throw. Safety first there by Lee Bauer. Throw taken quickly. Into the box goes French. His little flick over the top finds nobody, and that will be cleared immediately by Lakehill. Vandal manages to get on it this time and sends it out to the left. Waiting for it is Brown. Going one-on-one, can't quite get past his man, and Legg does do a little bit too much. Oh no, they give it against Brown there. They've grabbed onto the jersey perhaps as he went past. And it was a promising attack there for Lakehill. He's broken up. Colantonio leaves it back to Maksudi. He plays it to his goalkeeper. Ian Walker. Over to Cottrell. Lakehill not afraid to pressure here. They're playing what is now a 4-4-2. Two strikers playing very high up, while they play a flat four across the midfield. Gorge seems to be modifying between a 4-4-2 and a 4-3-3, rotating their midfield and attackers in and out so far in the early going. It seems they are more comfortable playing that flat four or even box four in the midfield, which does leave a little space out wide for Lakehill if they can use it. And out wide right now is a nice ball played forward there by Ryan Andre. Just offside though. There's Josh Brown on the run. Not Josh Brown there, sorry, that was like Dan Citra moving forward. Brown had retreated back down the left side. This is Aaron Murphy now. Inside to Abbott. Goes over the top. And he does indeed find the run. A good run too of John Shaw, but he's in close here. Shot blocked. And Brown comes the other way for Lakehill. Breaks one tackle, tries to go through the legs of Max Legg, but that's not happening. A little 1-2 touchdown through the middle here. Ricochets a few times and ultimately goes the way of Lakehill. Can they start to spring a counter? They think about it. Citra leaves a nice little 1-2 for Colantonio. Coming up from the midfield there was Bandal. Sends it out to the right. Over the top it goes. Nobody there. And Walker will calmly retrieve that before it goes over the end line.
Quality chance there by Jordy French of Gorge. And Jordy's just a proud new dad 3 weeks ago. First child. Baby boy in the ranks now.
Future Gorge player?
I'd say so, yeah.
Well, hopefully his dad can make him proud today. He's already putting in a good early shift here. 14 minutes gone in the first half. No score between Gorge and Lakehill. Lakehill now with the ball. Long ball being played forward. The idea there was looking for Citra. But he was nowhere near that hopeful ball, and it will be a goal kick for Gorge. Taken short by Walker. Maksudi to Legg. Legg goes inside. Abbott looks for a runner on the far left side. This is moving up from the left side. Pagnotta. Bit of a collision there, no call given. And springing up from the middle, Shaw looking for that long ball. But a little too far for him, directly at Luger. And Lakehill will recover. Luger looking long as well. He's got two targets deep. He's trying to find one of them. That is Citra. Getting in a duel there with Cottrell, which Cottrell wins, and he will knock it out for a throw. Deep throw here for Lake Hill from their right side.
No doubt they'll look for Citra and Ryan Andre again, both with Jackson Cup victories under their belt as well, as they played with Couch and winning one of those.
One of those great island teams, certainly in recent memory. Appeals for handball there eventually given. Sure, the argument there from Lake Hill would be ball to hand, but I think that was a fair call there by the referee. Certainly he had about 10 or 12 assistants there helping them.
One of the most butchered calls in all of soccer, if you ask me that. Ball to hand the ball, it's too confusing.
No one seems too upset about it now, but that was a decent strike on target by Dylan Abbott. Had pace, had rising, just not far enough to the corner to really fool or trouble Gabe Luger. That was an ambitious effort that certainly would not do Gorge wrong to try a few more. Turned over in midfield here by Lake Hill, and it's Gorge on it again. That only gets as far as Dorian Kolopaisis, excuse me. Who sends his man down the right. This is Gareth Langdon going for a run. Can't get past Cottrell, though, who calmly knocks that out for another throw.
Gareth Langdon's had a great year himself, too. Silver medalist with the CIS as well. He's just a great player.
Shown flashes so far in this Jackson Cup. Have his work cut out from what looks to be a very tight Gorge defense. That is deflected off a Gorge player, and that will be out for a corner for Lake Hill. I believe that is their first corner of the game. And how will they set this one up? They will be sending, looks like all but 3 forward. Minhas will be lurking on the outside. No, he will move up and join the set piece now. Bauer is there on the far side of the box. Brown lurking at the edge of the area. It's floated over to the back post. Bauer does get his head to it. And he doesn't miss by much. He had to fight for that little flick on the back post. Just not able to hit the target. Did very well there to get there. Charging back was Abbott to cover him. Did just enough to set Bauer off. Walker's long goal kick is flicked on. Only as far as Lee Bauer.
There's a success story, I think, with Ian Walker coming out of the Div 2 ranks with Prospect Lake, moving up to Gorge a couple years ago, and all of a sudden had the top keeper award last year in the league. So he's done very well to move up the ranks.
You can find talent at any level in the VISL. Just shows as long as you make the most of your opportunities, you can really go anywhere. And Walker, as you say, Vince, a sterling example of that. A little bit of personal silverware for his efforts. I'm sure he'd love to add to that with the Jackson Cup medal tonight. This is Lake Hill now. Spandel stops the attack in the middle, repositions. Does well to play in Bauer on the left. He has help. There's the overlap. Checking back there is Citra. Citra being watched closely. Puts it low into the middle. Nothing but black shirts there.
Just scanning the Gorge lineup, I don't think there's anyone on there with Jackson Cup experience as far as the final anyway.
Certainly playing without fear so far, though. This is Bandal now. Tries his luck from deep. He does get it on target. Not a bad idea from Tarnveer Bandal. He had space and he had a look. Tests the keeper. Why not? It's a shot on target for both sides in recent memory. Testing the keepers, finding their ways through. I'm sure both would like to get a little better than a shot from distance each. They can find
with his grass and playing on that they're not used to, not a bad idea at all. You're going to see some skips, you're going to see some bounces. It should be interesting to see if the grass plays a role.
Certainly as the teams get more familiar with it, they may get a little more comfortable trying to dribble through, but you're absolutely right, Vince. You play with the hand you're given, and in this case, the pitch at Royal Athletic has dictated a little more long ball, and so far both sides seem game to give it a go. 20 minutes gone in the first half, still no score. Gorge FC in the black, Lake Hill FC in the red. And And there's a ball played through. Cut back into the middle and cleared. Lurking just by the penalty spot there was Shaw, waiting for the ball to come through, but it never did. Some excellent defending at the back there by Jivan Minhas. Luger only gets as far as midfield before that is immediately deflected back in by Dominic Colantonio. Langdon now. Plate forced back. Roque and Minhas here at the back. After a little bit of pressure. Some good pressure there.
That's going to be a big key for Gorge today. See if John Shaw can finish off one or two of those chances. He'll get a bucketful. It's just a matter of if he can finish one or two of them off. That's for sure.
Certainly no harm in trying a little bit of a high press here. They've been under it a bit of themselves. Have Gorge since the opening stages of this match. Now with a bit of possession on their side, trying to apply that same metric to Lake Hill. And they'll play out of the back now, will Gorge. Cottrell looking up the left. And he does manage to sprint through, and there's a lovely ball played forward. Crossed over, Shaw's waiting in the middle, but so is Kolopaisis. Langdon takes his head up. There's Langdon now, excuse me. So the ball flies over the top, but that will easily be dealt back to Walker. Cottrell's been having a great opening part of this match here, Vince. Very solid defender here for Gorge.
He has been Arturo, and he's going to need it to deal with Andre and Citra up front.
Turned over there, and Lake Hill will start the other way. Andre tries to play in Brown, can't get there. And then we'll go up for a throw. Bauer throws in short. Langdon having rotated back into midfield here. Wait for Kolopaisis to spring it forward. Out on the far right-hand side now. It's a great-looking run. There's the cross. Far post again, looking for Bauer. It was nearly the phrase that paid last time on that corner. Not able to find his target that time. Walker will take the goal kick quickly. He'll take it somewhat short. Bit dangerous with two Lake Hill players lurking right nearby, but ultimately seems to work out in the end. French playing that back to Cottrell. Flicked on. Shaw tries to get there. Three Lake Hill defenders watching him. Not much space for him to go. This is Brown now being watched closely, but he still comes away with it. 1-on-3, Josh Brown still going. Plays it back to Vandal. Out to the far side now. Tricky little move on the right-hand side. Parker Atkins into the area, appeals for penalty there, none given. Brown, scrambly play, deflects off two legs. Possibly one of them belonging to leg. And it's Gorge on the counter now, over the top. This is Shaw trying to get there ahead of Luger. Luger at the edge of his area, just able to grab it. Brave goalkeeping there by Luger. He had to be absolutely certain that ball was going to get to him before Shaw had an easy flick on. Here's the thought for penalties, and I don't see much of a call there for a penalty there, Vince. It looked like fairly standard contact there.
I think it was wishful please. They went unanswered, though.
Always that danger, though, if you're going to come into contact in the box, be absolutely certain you get it right. And the referee adjudged that the Gorge defenders had, in fact, gotten it right. Quick stop here for a bit of an injury concern over on the far side. Lake Hill player currently being attended to. Bit early, perhaps, for a substitution here, Vince, though not out of the realm of possibility.
I'm sure they don't want to use one at this stage of the game, but we'll see if he's able to continue or not.
Parker Atkins just getting up now, having a little bit of a walk. Oh. No, they will indeed sub him off. That will be the end of the afternoon for Parker Atkins. That's going to be a blow for Lake Hill. take another look here. May not have been much. As you can see, Brown here looking over on the far side. This is when he was trying to get through the middle. Bandal plays it up to the right side. And there's Atkins. Come under pressure here.
Oh.
And looks like he just caught his toe on the pitch perhaps there. Enough to knock him out of the match, unfortunately. And standing over this free kick now is Dorian Kolopaisis. Plenty of bodies forward. He opts to spring it out to the far right. Might have been mishit there. So he had all those bodies forward waiting for a long ball. It ultimately goes up to the flank. And this will be a Gorge throw-in. Cottrell controls. Maxudi. Had his hands full with Andre earlier on to start the match. Has been a little bit quieter. Cottrell's been the busier of the two, trying to deal with Brown and Citra. We'll see if the change out of Atkins changes that situation. Inside now, Abbott. Opts to retreat. Cottrell again will thump it out wide, well wide for leg. Not able to get there as Barrow's waiting for it, and this is Brown. This time, not able to work any magic, slides in, but very calm and very cool from Dominic Colantonio. Stuart Irwin, number 16 for Lake Hill, is the player who's come in for Atkins. And this is brought down well by Litke. Brings it in low. Luger is there. A hopeful chance. They're trying to pick the far corner. Not much in it, and Luger able to handily deal with it. He says, well, to put just a little bit of pressure on Dorian Kolopaisis. And that is handled well. No real danger there with Luger going to ground. Walker will restart with his goal kick for Gorge. Bandal. Irwin. Irwin taking up that position now on the right. Cuts inside. That is dealt with quickly by Aaron Murphy. And trying to get his way free on the left was Jordan French. Took one deflection too many. We'll go up for a Lake Hill throw. They'll take their time with this one. Trying to play in Irwin. And it does flick on. Andre tries to get there, but there's really no danger there. Citra also lurking in from the left. That was always going to be Walker's ball, though. And leg now. On the left. Goes inside. Little 1-2 ball there to play in Colantonio. Leg goes back to Maxudi. Abbott. Being watched closely, being hounded in midfield and forced to go back. Just that solid Lake Hill midfield you were talking about earlier, Vince. This is where one of the big keys for Lake Hill is to bring that midfield into the game. And they've done well in the defensive end of things, really stymieing all the Gorge attempts to go through the middle of the park. Just not able to do much on the offensive side.
And full credit to Gorge's back line. They've been sharp, and they're handling those two front runners very well.
Over the top now goes Murphy. That's not going to find anyone in a black kit, though. And Roke will be only too happy to watch that one run out for a goal kick. Luger setting up. Plenty of bodies forward in midfield here, as they'll try and go route one here. Checking back is Andre. Citra now. Andre having fouled his man in that challenge. Be a Gorge free kick. Taken quickly. This is Murphy. Murphy goes low. Takes a deflection. Falls to Litke. And there will be another free kick. It looks like that was an unfair challenge, says the referee.
Got some studs up there, I think.
And this is not a bad place for Gorge to have a free kick. They could make something out of this. Perhaps a bit far to go directly on target. We'll take a look at the foul, and they're sliding in. Irwin just a little bit too aggressive. That's why we have shin guards. Free kick taken. It's a good one. Header is back across the face of goal, and unfairly taken there by Robert Leckie. He's able to get really good contact with it. Maksudi, I'm sorry, was the one on the end of that.
I guess he sort of climbed his back a bit there, didn't he?
He's a big guy, is Lorik Maksudi, but even that was a touch tall for the big man. Headed back to the keeper there by Abbott and Cottrell. Still about 6 bodies here in the attacking zone for Lakehill as they try and find perhaps a little more look at that high press, but that's poorly taken there by Matt Hassan. Moving forward was French. Brave stop there by Luger as he had to be there because one bad touch and that's an empty net for Jordan French. Bit of confusion there at the back by Lakehill. Gorge not able to capitalize. And they'll go over the top again. Abbott looking for the run of Shaw. Shaw's got a little time here, a little touch. 2 touches, tries to go wide. Waits for help. He's got none here. Now Leg joins him. Leaves it for Leg. Leg also being closed down here. Goes inside himself. French. Puts one low into the area, chested down. And that's well cleared there by Minas.
Well, Luger sure bailed out his defender there. He came up with a big stop there to keep things scoreless.
Absolutely. No real time for second guessing here. And Abbott fakes the cross, taps inside. This is Murphy, who goes back to Cottrell. Maksudi now, both of Gorge's defenders right at the midfield line here as Gorge tries to exert a little bit of possession, try and keep the play in the offensive end. This is Leg now, crosses blocked. Bauer does well there, tries to play it off. It will be a throw for Gorge. Abbott thinks about it. Opts to leave. This will be Leg. Plays short. This is Leg again to Abbott. Abbott's cross. He's got targets in the box, but he misses all of them, but it falls wide and trying to keep it in play, and he does Dylan Peñota. But unfortunately, he was in an offside position as he did so. And it will be a free kick to Lakehill. Across the half-hour mark here of the first half of the game, should say. Still no score, 0-0 in the first half of the Jackson Cup final between Lakehill and Gorge. Gorge having been a little more busier of the two sides here as they put a little more offensive pressure on their opponents in red. But Lakehill have responded. One substitution in case you missed it. Atkins going out with what looked like something to do with his foot, toe, possibly stubbing it on the grass. He was out, replaced with Stuart Irwin.
Early indications have it down as a lower body injury, that's for sure.
And we thank our medical staff for those in-depth and insightful injury reports. And looks like another corner here, second corner of the game for Lakehill. Last time they tried this, they had Bauer with a good chance at the back post, just wasn't able to get it on target. And he is in the mixer again, as is Ryan Andre. They fake short, they go low and hard to the front post, spilled by Walker. Paws it away, comes up with it in the end. Tricky little move by Lakehill there to fake the short play. Powerful looking cross. Walker quick to react as well to defend his penalty area there, and it's Gorge now on the attack. Cottrell. Playing out from the back, quite literally running out from his position at the back to get this attack started. And the defender will receive it again. Over to his partner, Maksudi. Colantonio closed down. Back to Cottrell. Andre does well to harass his man in midfield there. Colantonio going nowhere, and Cottrell will have to try again. This is where Lake Hill's been making their bones. They have been putting in a lot of pressure in that midfield, forcing Gorge to either play wide or long, and trusting in their defenders to do the rest. And it's Leg now with a little bit of space, cuts inside on Brown. Plays it low to French. Finds Colantonio! Colantonio! Dominic Colantonio has opened the scoring for Gorge, 1-0. At the 35th minute, it didn't look like much, but it started with Leg on the right-hand side here, Vince, and from there, what looked like just a clever little, deft little setup. Colantonio has opened the scoring.
Absolute clinical finish. The quick touch, and wow, great composure, and left peg top shelf. That is a great finish.
Leg starting it off on the right, plays inside to French. That's a lovely touch from French too. Colantonio, one touch just to settle it, and you see on that angle there, that is excellent placement. Just close to the post. Luger can't get there, and Gorge are up 1-0. Under 9 minutes to go in the first half. Now how can Lake Hill respond? They've got a little bit of space, or a lot of space on the right-hand side. Crossed in. That's off and out for a corner. Lake Hill's third corner of the game. Citra will head over to take this. No short play here. They go directly for the back post. Risinghouse Bauer not able to get there. Abbott will clear. And he's got plenty of space here. Does Licky. Clicks it forward. Shaw not able to get there. Bandal, excellent defending. Stop Shaw from going on a run. Now Irwin trying his luck for Lake Hill. They'll get a throw out of it.
Big soccer family, that Colantonio family. They have a variety of members involved in different teams here in the league, so I'm sure the family in attendance will be loving that goal by Dominic.
There was certainly a very raucous section of the crowd here that was loving that goal. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colantonio clan was here, or that was who we heard there, Vince. Let's see if the Gorge can give them something else to cheer about. Right now, it's Lake Hill trying to respond before the half is out. Big battle there on the right-hand side by Litke and Irwin. They both go down again. It's given a throw in the favor of Lake Hill. Good tough battle there on the side. As here we see it. This is a really good battle here.
You know what? And Litke is going to give you battle all day, and he will work hard. So no stranger to getting in the mix of that, Litke.
Walker claims off the last chance there. And this is Maksudi. To Leg. Leg with the second assist on the opening goal. So far the only goal of the afternoon. Abbott being closed down, and that is very well. The calls of man on go unheeded, and Citra can do something here for Lake Hill. He's got a little bit of space and some help on the right in the form of Atkins. Goes up to the middle trying to find Andre, who brings it down with one touch. 1-2 with Brown. This is Andre. Gives it back to the middle. Langdon now wide to Bauer. Bauer goes low. Wayward pass there from Bauer. That was a very good high-pressure sequence there from Lake Hill. Ultimately comes to nothing, and here's a steal by Gorge. This is Shaw now. He's got some space in the middle. One-on-one here with Kolopaisis. Shaw does well to turn him inside out. Puts in the cross. That's a great block from Kolopaisis. Concedes the corner. Well, that was a duel and a half there, Vince. Shaw and Kolopaisis going mano a mano. What a back and forth.
Well defended, well taken by John Shaw.
They're showing short here are Gorge. Ultimately decide the better of it. As Colantonio stands over it, the goal scorer. Puts it into the air, it's well taken. Headed clear by Lake Hill and flicked out of the area entirely by Langdon. Right back in, though, but now here's a chance for a counter from Lakehill, and off they go. Citra tries to leave for Bandel. That's a stiff challenge there from Leg, and Leg will get a talking to. Leg went in hard there. He'll get just a quick reminder, just to be a little less exuberant, perhaps. Don't think we'll see any cards on this. That's that little kick after the fact, though, and I appear to be mistaken. I believe that was a yellow card, actually, on the play, and there it is. So that is our first yellow of the game, going to Max Leg for a little bit too much emphasis on that last challenge. Perhaps the trailing leg also didn't exactly endear himself to the referee. Standing over this, Dorian Kolopaisis. It's a low kick, front of the area. Had some pace on it, but no targets, unfortunately, for them. And Daniel Roque will retreat for Lakehill. It'll be a throw, which he thinks about taking quickly, decides the better of it. Didn't like the targets he had. Plenty of black shirts on that side of the pitch. Now he goes. The little flick on does find Andre, but not able to do anything with it. Gorge goes up the middle for an advancing clear there by Lakehill. Puts it up for a throw. Cottrell. The press for Lakehill keeps getting higher and higher, that goal having not deterred them in any way, shape, or form. But now Shaw getting in the face of his man there, forces the turnover. Following up there was French, but nothing doing. Lakehill, a bit of scrambly, nervous moments there on defense, but they come away with it. Over the top, and he's onside. That looks like Citra. Citra running in. One-on-one with Leg. Cuts inside. He's got options in the box. Wide open is Andre. But the shot is taken by Citra and blocked. Still Citra. Has Bauer on his left. Opts to go back. This is Langdon. Now he finds his man on the far side, but now is covered as Irwin has since been looked after. Kolopaisis now. Back to Langdon. Langdon having retreated to almost a defender's role here as they leave the big bodies forward. Try and scare something in here before the break. Irwin cuts inside. Langdon trying to direct traffic here. He's been all over the ball in this last sequence. Roque. First time cross. Oh, just tipped over. And the flag is already up by the referee. It's out for a corner, they say. Some of the players thought it hadn't quite crossed the line. The cross from Roque was a good one, and almost a known goal there off of the hands of Walker, and there it does indeed cross the line. Bauer, good on him for putting in the extra effort, but it had clearly crossed over the end line. That close to leveling the score were Lakehill. Here's the corner. They're not able to get to that one, but it does fall generously for Irwin. But a good job there by Pagnotta to block it. A lazy play there from Lakehill, and now this is turned over for Gorge, hauled back.
Well, Gorge got away with one there. It was thankfully the AR was right on top of it. Shoemaker, good call with the ball being out, but Ian Walker had the gods shining on him this time as he spilled that one.
The final couple of minutes left here in the first half. And Gorge look to protect their 1-0 lead going into the halftime break. Oh, that was very nearly a steal there for Lakehill. Andre goes charging in with no fear, and Walker perhaps guilty of being a touch too lazy with that goal kick. Didn't heed the on-rushing menace that was Ryan Andre. But the bounce is fortuitous for Gorge, and they get a goal kick, which they take short. Cottrell to his partner, Maksudi. Gorge content to see out the half here, but Lakehill have been pressing high and have not let up since the goal. And they're starting to see results now as Gorge are beginning to be punished, but that's a lovely through ball from French, and Litke is in the clear. It's Litke. Litke one-on-one with Luger. Litke over the top. Tried the audacious chip from in close. Far, far too audacious from that distance. And Luger will be all too happy to watch that sail over his net. Look, he's just staring at that ball all the way.
I think he could have done better with a better first touch there to set himself up for that, but full marks to Lake Hill for defending.
Look, he had one thing on his mind there. He wanted to get close enough to fire that. Might have done better to just take one quick look up, see that he'd closed that gap between himself and Luger far quickly than he even realized. Fair challenge by leg, says the referee, and this is Gorge now going the other way, turned over immediately. Langdon has been buzzing all over the midfield since the goal, trying to get something started. We've played the 45. We're in stoppage time now. Can Lake Hill scare one here? Walker had Bauer right in his face. Does not spill. Leg goes the other way. End-to-end stuff here to close out the half. This is Shaw now with Litkey in the middle. Shaw, one-on-one, puts it inside. French blocked by Langdon. Abbott tries to find Murphy. Colantonio now loses out. This is Langdon trying to get through 3 black jerseys, only manages to get through 1. And this is Leg taking over for Gorge. Leg muscled off by Bauer, cleanly taken by Bauer. Langdon, nice little side heel. And that's Citra playing in. Bandal can't get there, head of Walker, clips the keeper who's fallen outside of his area. And will they call that? It could go either way, either handled outside the area, and they will penalize Walker for handling outside his area. Not a surprise there, as he falls on it to deal with the onrushing Bandal, but he's clearly outside his area, both the keeper and the ball. Not a hard call to make. And Walker will go into the book. What will surely be the last action of the half here. What a glorious chance for Lake Hill. Some debate here between the referee and his assistant. Did they see something perhaps that we didn't?
The only thing I can think of is if there was a possible foul in the play, but it didn't look like there was. I think it was just an aggressive challenge by Ian, who had to do what he did, and you know what? Unfortunately, he came out of the box and handled the ball. So
I don't think either. It didn't look like Bandal fouled Walker. It didn't look like Walker fouled Bandal. So handball is the most, or handled outside the area is the most likely call, and it is indeed. Well, what a chance here for Dan Citra. Right at the edge of the area. Referee paces off the wall. 6-man wall here for Gorge. Andre lurking to try and disrupt proceedings. Plenty of options here. And it's going to be Citra to take this. Great save by Walker. And that is indeed the last action of the half. Citra going for goal. And Walker equal to the challenge. First half ends 1-0 Gorge over Lake Hill.
yikes, through the wall too. Wow, Ian had to do well there to keep his eyes on that one.
Good goalkeeping from Walker, making up for his minor error there, handling outside the area to concede the free kick, but it all comes good in the end. And we go into the halftime break with Gorge FC 1, Lake Hill FC 0. You're watching the 2018 Jackson Cup final on Shaw TV Sports. We'll be back with the second half after this. Welcome back to the second half. Before we get there, though, some highlights from the first. This header from Lee Bauer. Lake Hill had their chances off of corners. They came close. But just as easily, they also had to rely on their goaltender, Gabe Luger, to bail them out. The speed there of Jordan French nearly catching the Lake Hill defense offside, but ultimately the great run by Max Legg, little one touch by French, and there is currently your only goal of the afternoon. Dominic Colantonio with a beautiful curler. I love this setup here, Vince. One touch, two touch, three touch, left footer, in far post. I mean, that's just a beautiful way to start off your afternoon.
What a great clinical finish, really. No chance for Luger there.
There were some close calls here, including this one, which Lake Hill thought they had equalized with, but the AR and referee were very clear that the ball had indeed crossed over the end line. There was, near the end of the first half, a little bit of controversy. Yellow card here for goalkeeper Walker for handling outside the area, but Citra's rocket of a free kick is stopped. And with that, we get to the second half of the Jackson Cup final. Gorge FC 1, Lake Hill FC 0. Gorge are in black and white on our broadcast right, attacking the broadcast left. Lake Hill in their red and white on our broadcast left, attacking the broadcast right.
And I do wonder if Lake Hill's going to keep this pressure up like they did the high pressure in the first half, especially now that Citra has dropped down into the midfield. I do wonder if they can keep that pressure up and if Gorge can sustain it.
Time will tell. We saw that the high press did end up paying dividends as that first half wore on for Lake Hill. They kept so many players, at times 3 players high, right outside the 18-yard box of Gorge, forcing turnovers, forcing, like we saw, that yellow card for Walker. But that does take a toll on the body and the legs specifically to try and keep all that activity sustained. So we'll see what Lake Hill has here for the second 45. If we are tied after a full 90 minutes of play, we will go to extra time, 2 15-minute halves, excuse me. And after 120 minutes, if we still do not have a clear winner, it'll be to the magic and the agony of the penalty shootout. Here's a turnover here for French. Tries to play in Shaw. That is a nice defending there by Minas. And he had to be sharp because Shaw was in clear barely a minute into this second half. Langdon. Langdon really took over in that end of that first half. They've been starting to drive the bus here, run the midfield, and it paid off well for Gorge, or for Lake Hill, excuse me, more and more chances. Can they keep it going? That's a bit of a clumsy challenge there from French. It'll be a throw for Lake Hill, but I'm sure there will be appeals for some sort of a foul there on Roque. As the boot gets up there, he just catches him on the knee, ultimately deemed incidental. Long throw here from Citra. Headed back by Cottrell. And that will go out for a deep throw here for Lake Hill. Pinota chasing that one down. Start quickly there was Citra. Does go long. He's got Andre in the box. It's flicked to the middle. Not able to get a toe on it there. Now for another throw. This is the result of that high pressure here. This has been all Lake Hill to start. Roque having moved far up here on the right-hand side. Langdon now. Midfield, Langdon. Tries to play in like Citra there. But it will fall back to Minas. Over the top it goes, and that's a good ball if Licky can get onto it. Just the one man back, but that man is Kolopaisis, and he will calmly get that back to Luger, who plays it heavy out to the right. Kolopaisis does manage to keep it in play.
That's the magic of the grass. You better have a good touch on it or else it's going to go flying on you. And it was a bit heavy there by Luger, but it all worked out.
Lake will continue their attack only as far as Abbott, who's been a irritant in the side of Lake Hill all afternoon. Been looking great in that midfield, alternating between shielding his back line and being just a terrier nipping at the heels of the Lake Hill midfield. He will need to be, as Lake Hill show no signs of letting up that high pressure so far as we start the second half. As much as that midfield was something of a no-go zone in the first half, like you mentioned off the top of our show today, Vince, it is a key for both teams that they somehow activate their midfield and get play happening.
And I really think you're going to see Langdon for Lake Hill pushing more and more, and he's going to be a big key for the second half.
French with a little flick on to Shaw. Shaw tries to play in Licky, gives it back to French. Forward for Licky. Be able to get there. On the far side there was Colantonio, the goal scorer. Just out of his reach. Perhaps one too many touches there on that counter, but it is still Gorge controlling. Abbott. His hands full there, and he's brought down unfairly, says the referee. Much to the protestations of Lake Hill. Vandal has been unrelenting in his own role in the midfield as a ball winner, as a destroyer. That time, touch too aggressive. And that high press from Lake Hill nearly forcing the turnover, but instead it's Gorge going the other way. This is Pinota. can't get through. Citron now is stopped from going any further. French tracking back, can't get there. Vandal tries to play down the right, and Roque is going to have to get on his horse to get there, but he can't quite, and it rolls out of play. The idea was there, Vince, to try and use a little more of that space. Roque has been sparingly used, but when he does get a chance to go, he's really creating things, or at least opportunities for Lake Hill.
Nicely sprayed out to the right side there. They just couldn't capitalize.
Come on! Hey!
Some appeals there for handball as that came off of Litke. Ultimately, it is a throw for Lake Hill. Roque with the throw. Andre being closely watched. Still retains control. Back to Roque. Roque. Citra, little back heel. Does manage to bank it off of Cottrell, who disagrees somewhat. And Citra throws in to a wide open Andre. He turns, fires, he scores! It's Andre, it's level at 1.
And that's what he does.
The Lake Hill contingent at Royal Athletic are loving it, as all he needed was one look, did Ryan Andre, to pounce on that loose ball and fire it near post. Throw in from Citra, catches everybody napping. That throw in, nobody really thought, oh, he's gonna go straight for the penalty area. Yes, he is, and Andre near post. No mistake, we're level at 1.
That's the north of the Malahat connection right there. Citra to Andre, and that's happened quite a bit this year.
And nearly as soon as that goes in, Gorge right the other way, trying to regain their lead. Smart defending there from Kolopaisis and Minas to make sure nothing further comes of it. That is the reward that you want to see for playing that kind of high press style. Seeing that you can catch the defense so ragged that you find those little seams, and Citra smartly finding that seam on the throw in. And Andre, that's what you have a big guy in front for, to make no mistakes in that kind of situation.
And heads up by Citra too, capitalizing and taking that quick throw in, not letting Gorge have the extra time to mark up. So well done on Citra's part as well.
I'm sure Gorge would look back on that play and wonder perhaps if maybe they couldn't have done better in midfield about in the 2 minutes leading up to that. Litke was really getting worked over and ultimately conceded the first throw in that lost possession, and from there, just a gradual move down the right-hand side of the pitch, ending in the Lake Hill goal.
And really just a little bit of napping, you know, not being prepared for the throw in, and Lake Hill took full advantage.
There, some alert defending as Langdon trying to sneak in from the right. Excuse me, that was not Langdon, was Brown. Langdon is in midfield trying to help out. Ultimately, he will get it here with Gareth Langdon. And now Citra has moved out to the right. He's chasing this down between him and Walker. Walker will claim it there. And now Walker has to be wondering, is this what going to be the rest of my afternoon is like, chasing down. This ball's over the top as Lake Hill have woken up and are out for more. Vandal now. Out to the left. Pisces has a look. He's got Roque trying to advance on the right-hand side here. Opposite to go back to Minas. Under the onrushing Shaw, does manage to get it over to Citra, who's dropped back to help. Who goes long. He's got a target on the far side. It's Brown, who chests it down nicely. Can't get past Cottrell, though. He's given away again. Brown trying to keep in play. Actually will. Gets a lucky spin there. Fortuitous bounce. Crosses it off the back of the Gorge defender. That is Murphy now getting it forward. Litke. Colantonio. Litke under pressure. Does manage to get it away. Shaw. Shaw twisting and turning here. Under pressure. Keeps his feet. Keeps the ball. But that time unable to get through. Some authoritative tackle there from Langdon. And now Shaw keeps it. The ball did not go out of play. Stayed along the line. Shaw crosses off the defender. It will go out for a throw for Gorge. concern here over who's going to actually take this, and it will be Colantonio heading over. As he prepares for this throw. Deep in Lake Hill territory. Goes short to Abbott. This is Abbott again. Plays over to Murphy. Murphy can't get it past his man in midfield. Peñota has to keep things going, but only a short time later, Cottrell is called in to stop that long ball from going any further with both Citra and Andre lurking. French out wide. Cut inside there by Leg. Gives it away though, and this is Gareth Langdon. Stutter step, can't get it through his man. Got past Langdon easily enough, or excuse me, Langdon got past Abbott easily enough. And now, offside.
Looks like John took a bit of a knock, elbow in the head, I think.
Yeah, he's currently clutching the side of his head there, and the referee's coming over to have a look. See if we can see what caused this. And looks like there's a knocking of heads there. They both went for a 50-50 ball. Wouldn't say there's any malice in that. But still, Shaw has been a very active sparker for Gorge. If he can't continue, that will be a big blow to them. So I imagine just any sort of concussion protocol that there might be, they may want to just be extra safe here with Shaw. Yeah, just the knocking of heads there. Shaw is currently on the sidelines being looked at by the trainers.
I'm sure they want to get him back in the match. Last year's MVP is a big piece of their team, that's for sure.
So currently Gorge playing with 10. They have not subbed Shaw out of the game. So Walker holds on with Andre coming in for a friendly hello. Cottrell. Cottrell, again, as he's done for most of the afternoon, walks it right out of the back. And Peñota now sprints up the left. Peñota goes right past Roque. Skips another challenge, but that one was deflected in the end. Minhas does very well to come over. Lovely work there. Nice little step. Peñota showing he's got the moves when it matters. That ball into the area is cleared. Citra heads it forward. Abbott thumps it directly back. Thrown in by Roque. Andre is waiting. Try again and go over the top. He's trying to find the run of Brown. Does find it. It's kept low, and Abbott will give it back to Cottrell. This is French now, leaving it for Murphy. It's back to Cottrell. Murphy, having dropped back, goes out wide to the right side. The top into the middle. We're awaiting. Looks like Litke was there trying to bring that down. Roque to Langdon. Langdon looks for a shot in the middle. Can't find his man though. And brought down there in a collision of players. I suppose Murphy and Andre. Referee lets it go. Says nothing there. Instead, it'll be Minas. To Bandal. Bandal still with it here, being pressured by Litke. Doesn't rush it though. Instead, it's Roque on the right-hand side. Roque pitches up for Citra, does a nice little step over to beat Cottrell. He's brought down. That will be a yellow. And Cottrell is shown a yellow. He's had a good afternoon as Cottrell, but at that moment, hauls down Citra. Not really sure he had a choice there because Citra was off to the races if he hadn't. Might have been a tactical yellow there. See, there's the hand on there. Well, maybe Citra goes down a touch easy. But still, you put your hand on someone like that as a defender, you are taking your life in your own hands.
It's easy to make that call when you put your hand there, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it will be Citra who put a stinging free kick on net in the dying seconds. Actually, the last action of the first half. I doubt he'll go for goal from here, but he has at least a half dozen targets in and around the area. As we see here, this is the, put your hand on someone's shoulder. Not a good idea. You can certainly make the argument that Citra went down late and lightly, but still, from the referee's point of view, he sees a defender grabbing onto the shoulder of an attacker who's sprinting by him. That's an easy call to make. We've played the first 15 minutes of the second half. Scores are level, 1-1 between Gorge and Lake Hill. Citra goes low into the middle. At least 3 different targets there, none of which able to connect. Langdon tries to go through everybody, can't. Citra can't get forward. Langdon again. Opts to go all the way back to Minas. Gets it to the right. And Roque does so very well to get it past an on-rushing French. Oh, where he goes. That will be easily grabbed and held onto by Walker. Shaw is just coming to the 4th officials table right now, having been looked over after his injury. It looks like he they do have a few subs up and mobile in case they need to sub him out. And we may in fact be seeing both Shaw come back into the game and a substitution as 2 Gorge players. There is Shaw coming back into the game, so he is fit to continue, much to the relief of Gorge supporters everywhere, I'm sure. For 7 in black, now rejoins the attack with Litke up front as Luger waits over this kick. In absolutely no rush is Gabe Luger. Andre jumps out with Cottrell. Abbott comes away with it. Antonio. Shaw. It's for Abbott. And Shaw will go on a run here. Gets the cross, but with a little too much mustard. Perhaps relish and maybe ketchup. And with that hot dogging all done, it'll be a goal kick. I'm really hungry.
Yeah, I sort of want one of those Royal Athletic Park hot dogs with onions right now. That you mention it.
The first thing you see when you walk over to the Shaw broadcast truck is the hot dog stand, and sticks in your mind.
Good
Luger
spot for the stand.
Luger standing over this goal kick. Referee has spotted something here. Now he tells Luger to get on with it.
One of our top officials there, Nathan Bird.
Goes short here, and not just short, but out of play. Nice possession there, and this will be quickly grabbed and thrown back in by Gorge. Yoda. Brings it over to Shaw, checks in short. Off the Lake Hill player out for another Gorge throw.
I think that was just a good old-fashioned shank.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And Gorge are not looking this gift horse in the mouth at all. They are taking this quickly and with some authority to try and keep the pressure on. And Yoda throws over the top, trying to find Shaw behind, and he does. Brought down. French, I'm sorry, not Shaw. Regardless, French does get the free kick in his favor, and he will be told to wait by the referee, who will pace off. As you can see there's really no question there. Roque goes in. Both players up quickly. But ultimately not a fair challenge there by Roque on French. Into the area, headed back. And this will probably be out for a corner, unless Roque can keep it in. He cannot. And thank goodness that table was down, because there's a large contingent of band players there who do not want their instruments immediately bulleted by a soccer ball. Corner taken quickly. Shaw on the volley. Takes a deflection and cleared by Lake Hill.
That's the Best Coast Big Band down there playing for us here today.
Sounded excellent, both at pre-match and at halftime. Great entertainment for the crowd here at Royal Athletic. Cottrell. Chippy in the middle here, but ultimately Gorge comes with it. French tries to go up the middle, and Shaw gets right between both defenders. Shaw trying to get in. Shaw and Luger, but Luger has the save there. Great battle there by John Shaw. Manages to sneak between both Kalapaitis and Minas. Not an easy task. Just managed to force the save out of Luger. Cottrell now. Goes long. Sprinting ahead there for Gorge. Ethan Lowenstein having checked into the game for Gorge, number 2 in black. As they look for more options on that far side. Murray can't get through. Murphy's blunder there goes unpunished, but it is now Lakehill moving ahead as Roque. Forced back into the middle though, Bandal. Back to Roque. Citra is waiting on the side. Roque tries to go back, but is snuffed out immediately by Lowenstein.
A couple big tackles there. Ryan Andre just involved in what you can see. He was favoring his shoulder, but he's back up at it. And again, that's his style of play. He'll battle all day long.
And that will be going in the favor. It ends up being a throw, not able to be kept in by Lakehill. Gorge now running forward to take this throw. And Cottrell will regroup for Gorge. Abbott has Pagnotta on the run on the left. Sends up the middle instead, but neither Shaw nor Pagnotta were ready to go, but the referee has called it back. He saw something he didn't like there.
A little exuberance by Ryan Andre there, and Gorge has earned themselves a free kick, I think.
And substitution coming up here for Lakehill, as it looks like Daniel Roque will be coming out of the game.
Done. In your own half, eh?
And the Parm Johal coming in for Daniel Roque there on the right-hand side. Not a bad afternoon for Roque. He's been busy on that right-hand side. I'm sure he will appreciate a bit of relief in the form of Parm Johal, Claremont grad. Cottrell. To Maksudi there. It's immediately intercepted, and Bandal, who's playing more of a forward role now, stops that. Citra not able to get a hold of that one though, and Pagnotta plays it into the middle. Pagnotta, it's it low. Nice little touch there from French. Playing the 1-2 with Lowenstein. This is Lowenstein on the left now. French can't get past Citra. And it will deflect out for a Lakehill throw. Long throw from Bauer. Dealt with by Pagnotta. Headed directly to French. He's on the run here, tries to play in Shaw, but putting his whole body on the line there was Minas. And now Bauer deflects it off the Gorge player and out for a Lakehill throw. Citra waits for it, as does Bauer, and it will be given to the fullback. Lee Bauer had a chance in the first half, a header at the back post on a corner. Glanced it off the outside of the net. Now Gareth Langdon sends it out to the left-hand side. Parm Johal is. Johal taking a position on the left-hand side, having sent Bauer over to the right. And now Lakehill with chance deep here for a throw. And pulling back. Cutting in from the left, not able to do so. Well snuffed out. They'll try again. Over the top they go, trying to sneak in at the back post. Nothing doing. And Walker will calmly thump this away as Citra is forced to retreat. Shaw now. 1-on-4 is cleared. Cottrell springing way up from the back. Lowenstein, nice little side ball to Murphy. Shaw tries his luck. Tight angle. Wasn't that far off, but it was most assuredly high. Lake Hill plays out quickly. And AR, assistant referee says he's seen a foul, flags that. It'll be a free kick for Lake Hill. Joel at the far side goes back. Send it to Kolopaisis. Goes for a bit of a walk. Sends it low to Johal. And that goes up the middle, or up the left, I should say. And another free kick given in the way of Lake Hill. They're trying their luck here, closer to the middle of the park. They are favoring that left-hand side. Another substitution coming up here, coming out of the game, will be Dan Citra, who's had quite the game. Had the throw in that got Lake Hill their equalizing goal. Coming in will be Justin Atwal, fourth-year mechanical engineering student at UVic, coming into the game.
Justin also comes out of that Reynolds program that they have, their excellent soccer program. I believe he was Athlete of the Year on 2 different occasions there.
Under 20 minutes to go. Turn and fire there. They'll try again, wide open, but Abbott gets his body on the line, sprawling. The defensive midfielder bailing out his goalkeeper there, and on the counter, it's Gorge going the other way. Shaw now. Shaw 1-on-3, bodied off the ball by Minas. Still going, still Shaw, shakes another tackle. Still Shaw, still Shaw! Oh my goodness, John Shaw! He could not, would not be stopped, and he has Gorge in front 2-1.
He was 1v4.
That was quite incredible. And a massive thank you goes to Dylan Abbott for putting his body on the line, saving what would have been a sure Lake Hill goal and springing this counter. Minhas can't take him off, and Shaw just keeps going. Kolopaisis can't stop him, and Shaw delivers on a clinical counterattack. Amazing stuff.
That is why he was last year's Division I MVP. When he's on, and that is a big goal for Gorge after it just clearing one off their own line. Amazing.
And it's like Dylan Pagnotta will be coming out of the game here for Gorge. New left back coming into the game. Coming into the game here for Gorge. Number 9 in black, taking Pagnotta's position. It's Walker under some under intense pressure there. Claims the ball. Stays down though. That ball coming in over the top. Cottrell gets ahead to it, but then Bauer is there, challenges. Ultimately staying down. It's Walker, and does well to control it actually under pressure from 2 different Lake Hill players. Ends up getting the free kick out of it.
Good solid challenge there by Walker, and a big stop at this stage.
And a free kick going the way of Gorge here. Not what Lake Hill wants, is Gorge up 2-1. And pushing forward. What do you think about this one? Go back to Cottrell. Right up the middle. Colantonio. Little back heel. And Lonesy does well to get it to Shaw. Shaw this time is offside. But once again, Shaw finding the little channels, finding those little spaces to slip through, nearly puts himself in position for a 3rd goal.
And you know what? That play all develops from Jordy French and that little dummy. Lets that ball play through, and an automatic scoring chance.
Shaw, you can see, did cheat ahead, and Lowenstein Does get it to him, but Shaw had not fully checked his run there. Good job by the Lake Hill defenders to hold their line. Stranding Shaw just offside. At this stage in the game, when you're down a goal and desperate, it is so important for your backline to know when to hold and to trap those attackers. They'd got that wrong. Like I say, Shaw, he's likely putting Gorge up 3-1 at that point. Instead, Lake Hill now have a chance, or still have a chance rather. Send this game to extra time. Colantonio, who opened the scoring for Gorge on a lovely left-footed strike. Advantage given. Abbott goes up over the top. Won't be able to get it to Shaw. The second ball is won back. Comes Filipchuk to try and save the possession, but he can't. Free kick given. Lake Hill will send bodies forward. As you can see here, Bauer tries to get away, but he's just caught there on the heels there by Shaw. Antonio, only as far as Langdon. On the right now, Vandal looks over the top, trying to find Andre. And while he does have them in sight, he's not able to get past Maksudi. Walker will, in absolutely no rush, to take this goal kick. Still a good 12 minutes left plus stoppage time, so perhaps a little bit early to be in full time wasting mode. But when you are in a cup final, every precious second you can tick off the clock. It's a second well spent if you're Gorge, and if you're Lake Hill, you're probably making your case to the referee every second you can get to start showing a yellow for time wasting. And as a reminder, Walker is already on a yellow, having handled the ball outside his box and giving away that free kick at the end of the first half. Citra put right on target. Walker was equal to. Walker was beaten though on a throw-in by Citra, which found a wide open Ryan Andre. Buried it near post to level the score at 1. But then John Shaw pops up and suddenly has Gorge up by 1. Time winding down in this Jackson Cup final. What else does Gorge have to hold off Lake Hill? Cottrell finds Filipchuk. Concedes the throw in there, or wins the throw in, I should say, for Filipchuk. Who again is in absolutely no rush to take this. Well, I'm sure the referee will gently remind him to keep things moving. Abbott now, having moved far up, he's got 2 players on him, goes right to the corner, cuts it inside, does find Lowenstein, tries to get into the area, but loses control of it, and it's out for a goal kick. Luger takes quickly, goes short. Out wide for Joe Hall. Andre turns, gives away the free kick. A little bit too aggressive there, taken quickly. Cottrell. Out wide for Leg. Or his partner, Maksudi. Over they go over the top. They're totally content here to play the long ball. They've got their 1-goal lead. And Luger quickly goes right back the other direction. On rushing target here is Brown. Brown does get there. Plays it back to the top of the area. Andre! Great save! Wide open! We're level at 2! Gorge is protesting for an offside. It's not coming. And Justin Otwell, the substitute who comes on, has his team level. Great job here by Brown. Shakes off Maksudi, puts it back to the top of the area. A stinging shot, a great initial save by Walker, it must be said, but wide open. Wide open is out. Well, Philip Chuck does a poor job of marking his man here, Vince. And suddenly, under 10 minutes to go in regular time, we have a 2-all game.
I'm not surprised to see Ryan Andre involved in that again. You know, Ian Walker does make that big first save, but a little bit of shoddy defending there. Loose rebound, and that's just a tap in.
Oddball playing the role of an impact substitute here. As he comes into the midfield and puts himself on the score sheet. And now this is Shaw for Gorge. We've seen what he can do. Plays it out wide to Philip Chuck. Perhaps can be held a little bit accountable on that Otwall goal. Instead, now it's Langdon, who's got a little bit of space here. Up against Murphy. Plays it over to Andre. Langdon is down on the deck. Seems to be fine, though. Andre goes out wide again. Finds Bauer. Bauer. It'll be up for a corner. Lakehill have shown that they can play these well.
Let's see a red out there. The Lakehill fans have definitely come alive. I haven't heard chanting like that since I was at a European game.
They are excited. They've been definitely a nervous bunch here, just to our broadcast, right? These swaths of Lakehill Red supporters. But an equalizing goal from Justin Otwall has them right back in this. Tarvir Bandal with the corner for Lakehill. That is cleared by Gorge. Defending there by Maksudi. But not out completely. Bandal will still get another crack at this, and he will. Puts it in low into the area. Otwall screams for a handball there. But ball to hand is the ruling, and considering it was flicked directly into his midsection, I can't say I agree or I disagree with the non-call. Can't really see any intent there whatsoever. Though I'm sure the 50-odd referees, assistants directly below us to our right, Vince, are registering their opposition as best they can. Shaw now shakes off one tackle, shakes off two, still going, little touch. But now he does indeed win the free kick on the outside of the area, called back from the advantage. As the double trouble here, Jordan French and John Shaw just carving the Lakehill defense to shreds. So here's the non-call for ball to hand. I can't really disagree with this. You could make the case that maybe it's in a natural position here from Cottrell, but he doesn't have any time whatsoever to get out of the way, and the flick on is right there. Well, I don't know, what do you think,
I'd have
Vince?
to agree with you there, Arturo. That means he's not in a reckless position there. I got no call there.
As we saw there, that the play was stopped and advantage was called back for an earlier foul on Shaw. And now, with Cole Antonio standing over this with Abbott, they have a great chance here. Cole Antonio hits the wall, cleared immediately by Valencia. Mr. Valencia having checked into this game a while ago.
And talk about a workhorse. That's why he's in the game right now. He is going to work and make that middle of the infield so much solid.
We've already seen how deadly it is to be there. Valencia just adds to that. But here's Cole Antonio streaking down the right. Puts in a cross short at the top of the area. French, no. Great block there. And again, Abbott turns, fires, through him. It's through. It went under Luger. He couldn't keep it out. And Abbott, on a bit of a scrambling play, just takes a chance, buys a ticket, and he's got Gorge up 3-2 with 6 minutes to play. Just comes from nothing here, Vince. Abbott turns, tries his luck, and Luger's going to want that one back.
It's an ugly one, I feel, for the Luger there. He's had a great game of that one. Yeah, like you say, he'll definitely want that one back. That's an unfortunate one for him.
Well, Dylan Abbott has been an absolutely relentless defensive midfielder here. He has shown a yellow for moving his shirt up into a fun position to show off his abs to the crowd. But he has been rewarded, I think, for his day on the park. You see that kind of performance by a defender, and you think that's a fantastic way to add something to your team's effort. To get a goal just to really put your name on the score sheet is a just desserts for Dylan Abbott there. And now Shaw will get his just desserts subbed off here with 5 minutes to go. Great day on the park here for John Shaw. He's going to be very happy with his performance.
And you mentioned that about defenders, too. They don't get their their fair claim to a lot of performances out there, but he has been phenomenal on the back line, and now he's got a goal.
Absolutely. Coming in for Shaw here is number 13 for Gorge.
Kevin?
Yes, Kevin Jones coming in. See what he can do in 5 minutes. He'll have all the energy he needs, no doubt, to run. And if you're Gorge, worst case scenario, suddenly we go to extra time. You have a fresh body on the pitch to run for half an hour. So Kevin Jones will be called on to do that for Gorge. Meanwhile, collision here. They're awkward coming together on the right-hand side. And Bauer will quickly move forward to take this throw. Referee calls him back, doesn't like where Bauer has jogged forward to, and as he gets ready to uncork a long throw here. It's a good one, directly into the area, back to the top of the area and cleared. And now here's Jones. Off the bench, goes for a run. Manages to take out Minhas in the process, but he's not able to get past Atwal. And now Bauer has suddenly been sprung down the right-hand side, can keep it, and he does. The cross is low. Walker calls for it. He will scoop that up. You can hear counting going on here. Now the Lake Hill players are trying to get into the referee's head. They know if Walker's booked for time wasting, the goalkeeper will be sent off. A tactic most infamously used in the 2012 London Olympics, the match between the Canadian and American women's national teams. Don't know about you, Vince, but I still haven't forgiven Abby Wambach.
I'm pretty sure a lot of Canadians haven't.
French shakes off 2 tackles and keeps going. Jordan French has got help in the form of both Lowenstein. Oh, but he bails there. He went for it, did he? And ultimately, Kevin Jones goes face down on the pitch. Well, you can't accuse him of not trying.
Somebody needs a yellow card for that one. I'm not sure who, but someone needs one.
The cleats, maybe? Andre goes down there. He will get a free kick. It's a little too aggressive there with Cottrell. Cottrell's been doing this a lot all game, pushing up from the back. Trying to be that more aggressive presence. And here we see French, Jones going on the run, and Jones just wait for it. There it is. Not a moment he'll look on with any sort of glory, though if he ends up with a Jackson Cup to his name today, I'm sure he'll be just fine with it. Bandel's free kick. Looks for Walker, who's forced to punch. Tons of red bodies in the box there. Ultimately, it's the right decision. But kept in, no, not quite kept in play there. Almost.
Great clearance there by Walker. That's a big one at this stage of the game, of course.
Under 2 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Gorge FC 3, Lake Hill FC 2. Dylan Abbott for Gorge may have just scored the Jackson Cup winning goal. Lake Hill will be doing everything they can to make that statement untrue. So if you had to put in your vote here for man of the match tonight here, Vince, you've got plenty of candidates on both sides. Who are you looking to?
You know, if the score stays the same, I don't think you can look past Dylan Abbott, to be honest. Defended exceptionally. Scored that last goal. You know what? He's done everything necessary to give Gorge a chance.
Absolutely. I will never say no to giving a defensive midfielder man of the match. I would also give a shout to John Shaw if you're going to give to players from Gorge. His efforts up front were not insignificant. And if Lake Hill comes back from this, I think you've got to look at perhaps Gareth Langdon, perhaps Ryan Andre.
I think you've got them both right there, Arturo. I mean, Ryan Andre has been a force all game. A little bit of controversy now happening down there.
Definitely some disagreement over the offside call. As there was a thought maybe that would be a corner perhaps for Lake Hill, but instead the assistant is shown offside. Much to the disgust of Jivan Minhas.
Yeah, but Gareth Lang, great match by him in the middle of the park for Lake Hill. Ryan Andre as well, so we'll see what happens here in the next couple minutes.
I would be remiss if I didn't say Dan Citra, though. He was you look for these box-to-box kind of utility midfielders who sort of do a little bit of everything. Citra did a little bit of everything, but he did it all well.
You know what? He worked hard out there today, and he did everything necessary, but it looks like it's not going to be for him today.
It's unfortunate. We've played the full 90. We're only into stoppage time now. Gorge just have to hold on for a few more minutes, maybe even less. They're at the mercy of the assistant referees. Abbott tries an audacious long ball for his second of the night, because why not? Well, wouldn't that be a great way to cap his afternoon with 2 goals, one from midfield? And it's all hands on deck now for Gorge, defending with their lives as Lake Hill look for that way through. Cottrell will just thump this out to touch, with Andre and company steaming into the area. The ball kids do their best to get this thing back into play. It'll be Bauer with the long throw. Won't have as big a run up on the far side of the pitch, but he'll do it all the same. It's a good throw. Popped up by Lowenstein. Misses the clearance, though. This might be up for a corner, and it is. A late Lake Hill corner. And up from the back comes Luger. And he does indeed come up. It's Gabe Luger joining the fray here. All hands on deck. Goalkeeper joins the attack. It's only Valencia standing at the back with Kolopaitis. Everybody in the corner, short and low, flicked in by Langdon, it looks like, but Lowenstein keeps it out. Second effort now. Does well to cut inside on his man. Puts it low, blocked again, and Luger retreats quickly as Lowenstein will just wait and calmly play it forward. And it's flicked out for a throw there by Colantonio. Colantonio, who opened the scoring with that left-footed strike. Right back into the area here by Lake Hill. But Walker backing right up to his line. Andre raises his hands in frustration, but that's it. That's it. The Jackson Cup has been decided, and it is Gorge FC, your 2018 Jackson Cup winners. A fantastic display. You're not going to find much better in the way of local soccer than that, ladies and gentlemen. The Jackson Cup, finely and fiercely contested by both sides. Here are all the second half goals, starting with, as I mentioned his name, Dan Citra. The throw-in finds Ryan Andre. Cheeky little throw-in play. Gorge caught napping, and Lake Hill make no mistake. Ryan Andre, great job here at the near post. One touch. That's how you put it in. He's a happy man. But it would not be enough, because not that long later, John Shaw goes on a run. Skips one tackle, skips 2 tackles, and then just rifles one past Luger. You heard Vince call him the MVP for the VISL season, and plays like that are why John Shaw has an MVP award in his closet right now, and he's just added a Jackson Cup medal to it. But even that would not be enough, because on a lovely strike by Andre, a hard shot, which Walker does a very good job to save, then finished off by Justin Otwell, who came on as a sub. Stays on side, too, by staying level with another sub, Nick Filipchuk, who can be perhaps held a little bit accountable, but then was a scrambly play here. Ball ricocheting everywhere. Dylan Abbott just turns, takes a hopeful shot. It sneaks underneath Gabe Luger. It shows you why they call it just buy a ticket, take a shot, and see what happens. And for Dylan Abbott, he's just seen himself win his side the Jackson Cup.
Did you see that?
What a match. Both teams here have every right to be happy. It'll be heartbreak, absolute heartbreak for Lake Hill, who thought they'd done enough to force extra time. And indeed, you would not have put it past them. You would have not have been unhappy to see this game go to extra time. Ultimately, though, there has to be a winner, and it was decided in regular time after 90 minutes. Gorge FC 3, Lake Hill FC 2. You've been watching a Shaw TV Sports presentation of the Jackson Cup. My name is Roturo. On behalf of Vince Greco, everyone here at Shaw TV and the Vancouver Island Soccer League, thank you so much for watching.